It's the video cast you've all been waiting for. How to log into My Church Suite. First, before I go into the details, I just want to remind you that Church Suite is our new hub for information about what's going on at church and about who's coming. So if you attend regularly on a Sunday morning, you should have received your My Church Suite invitation. This is at the moment only for people who are over 18. There's also one more thing to note before we get started. If you are a couple who share an email address, there will be 2 emails sent to you. Please make sure when you go through this next process, you are using the email that is addressed to you as an individual. You cannot be a couple in Church Suite signed up for the same login. You are 2 individuals, but they'll send you a separate email. So let's open our email. It says, your My Church Suite invitation. To access Church Suite for your church, Highworth Community Church, simply click the button below. If you scroll down through the email, you'll see there's a section that says, update your details. If you're already in our church address book, you know, that paper copy that you might have hanging around somewhere in the takeaway drawer, then any information that was in there has already been populated in My Church Suite. This might need updating. Don't worry about that. We can do that in a few minutes. If we click on the big blue strip that says go to My Church Suite, it will open up a new web page. Right. The first thing that it will say is enter your password. So you need to choose a password that you're going to remember. Type it into the box. And then underneath, you're going to need to confirm your password. Write exactly the same password again. And press next. Okay, that should take you to the home page of My Church Suite. Right, let's just have a look around and see what we can see. The first thing that comes up is a little welcome note. And there's a list of featured events, things that are happening in church in the next few days and weeks. There's a section with your details that you might see on that homepage, and also a section called My Communication. If you are on a PC, down the left-hand side, there's a navigation bar with lots of different tabs with different things written on them. They say Home, My Communication, My Details, My Events, Search for Others, and Log Out. Now, if you're on a phone or possibly on a tablet, rather than being down the left-hand side, you might find that they come across the top of the screen. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at the tab called My Details and make sure that all of our details are up to date. So the minimum information that we need in Church Suite from you is your name and your email address. But if you would like to fill out the other information, that would be great too. You can put in your gender, your date of birth. You might even put in your marital status. If you have a spouse who is in church, then you can search for them and it will link you and say that you're married in My Church Suite. Clever. There's a space for you to put in your mobile phone number and your landline if you want to. Again, if these are already populated, just check that they're correct. You might need to edit them if they're not. And then there's a section for your address down the bottom. If you look, there's a little picture of a camera in a circle that's surrounded by dots. And here you can upload a picture of yourself. So you can click on it if you're on the desktop and choose a picture that might already be saved on your computer. Or if you're on a phone or a tablet, you can go through to your saved photos and choose one of you to put in My Church Suite. So everyone can see your beautiful face and know who you are. So once you've done that, you can press Save Changes, that little button, really important button. So that was our details that we've edited. We're going to go to Login. If you ever want to change your password, then you can do that by going to this little tab, Login. The next one along is Privacy. Now, privacy is the tab that shows everyone else in the church what information you want visible. So decide what details are visible to others in the church. If you want your address, your telephone number, your mobile number, and your email address visible to others in the church so they can contact you for any reason. Maybe they want to do a rota swap with you or just meet up with you for a coffee. Make sure that you have clicked on the little squares and they've become green ticks. If you choose not to make this information visible to everyone in the church, that's okay. The leadership and the pastoral team will still be able to log into the back office and find that information if they need to get hold of you for any reason. Make sure you press Save Changes. And lastly, another really important one in this section is communication. So there are 2 boxes in here: receive general emails. So if you'd still like to receive emails from us when we switch over to using Church Suite to do our weekly emails, then you need to make sure this box is ticked. And at the moment, we don't have the facilities to do text messages, but that's something we might add on in the future. So if you want to be able to receive a text about a rota update or maybe some important information about church, then please make sure you've ticked receive general SMSs. So that is your details. Let's make sure we've saved changes. If we go back to that navigation at the side or at the top, we go down to My Events. This section has got all of the things that are happening in church. So there are some featured events that are coming up in the calendar in the next few days and weeks. You can see there's the whole church calendar down there, and also a list of events that are happening and the dates that they're happening on. You can see that there are lots of things happening that are open to anybody to come along to in the church. But you might notice that your calendar might be different to your spouse or one of your friends, because there might be some things in your calendar that are just for you. For example, the trustees meetings will only appear in the trustees calendar. They won't be visible to everybody else. The same with leaders meetings, or maybe some small groups that you're involved in or a course that you're on. If we go to the little sections at the top under the words My Events, that's the general calendar page. You can go to My Events and click on that. And if you're signed up to any courses, for example, Training School or Kintsugi Hope, then all of the dates for those courses should appear under My Events. And the next section along is My Invites. You might be invited to an event in the future. For example, the pastoral team might think that a course might be really good for you and invite you to come along. Or there might be a whole church event that we want to get people to sign up to, and you'll all be invited to, there'll be an invitation in this section that you can respond to. There aren't any in there at the moment though. And the last section we're going to look at today is called Search for Others. So if we go back to that navigation bar, the left-hand side or the top if you're on a phone, and press Search for Others, you'll see lots of beautiful pictures have appeared along with some information. Now, although the screen is fuzzy and you can't read their contact details because this is YouTube and it is available to everybody, I promise you underneath there you can find email addresses and phone numbers for those people. So if you want to find out how to contact anyone in the church, then hopefully they will have logged into My Church Suite and you'll be able to find them here. And there ends our tour of Church Suite. If you're having any problems logging in, please let me know. And if you haven't received your invitation and you think you should have done, then you can contact me, Lizzie at highworthchurch.co.uk, and I'll see if I can get you sorted out with a login. See you soon, church.